her performative, goo-goo gaga baby demeanor and angelic voice, many have assumed that Ariana Grande is full of sweetness and class and sensitivity, and they couldn't be more wrong, because this SpongeBob bangin' pop princess is a notorious homewrecker that I dare you to defend after watching. We're gonna start the homewrecking rundown with her first known affair in 2012. So, real quick, what is a homewrecker? Why is Ariana being called one? Well, a homewrecker is someone who has physical relations with someone who is in a relationship, potentially even has a family. Listen, to be real, the level of blame placed on the homewrecker depends on how close they are to the person being cheated on. I think we can all agree if you sleep with someone in a relationship but didn't know they were in one, that you didn't do anything intentionally wrong, so it is okay. You are technically a homewrecker, but you're not an ill-meaning one. You didn't know. Now, if you know the person is in a relationship and you actively pursue them despite that, you don't care, you want him, break up with your girlfriend, I'm bored, then guess what? You're probably a POS and you earn that title of a homewrecker. That's why people are coming after Ariana, not because they're anti-woman or because they're deflecting blame from the real cheater, which was the man who left his family to be with her. People are coming after Ariana because she intentionally seeks out people in relationships time and time again. 2012 was the first year Ariana got publicly dubbed a homewrecker, and it was by Jai Brooks, who felt the singer had been cheating with Nathan Sykes. Jai Brooks began a long-distance relationship with Ariana that lasted about a year, and things seemed fine until the pop star publicly announced very suddenly Brooks had broken up with her through a text message. Brooks in turn didn't want to take any dirt, so he revealed that Ariana was actually still in a relationship with him when she started dating Sykes. Grande, on the other hand, denied the cheating accusations, and that Jai was just trying to make her look bad, and that I did date Nathan, but then she went back to Jai, and then back to Nathan again, which is what made this okay to do apparently. So, on to where the real actual homewrecking begins, which is our next segment, the year 2013. By March of 2013, Mac Miller had been dating Nomi Leisure since 2009. That's a solid 5 years. He met Ariana in 2012, that previous year, and the two had recorded a song and music video, The Way, phenomenal, at which point rumors started to circulate that maybe he had cheated on his long-term girlfriend, Nomi Leisure, with Grande during the production. It didn't help that Nomi announced that she was leaving Mac almost directly after. So, Mac and Nomi managed to reconcile, and they stay together. Mac shuts down rumors that their breakup had to do with Ariana because, to quote him at the time, that's the homie, she's got a boyfriend and everything. What boyfriend is that? Oh, the next relationship she homewrecked, which happened in our next segment, 2014. Naya Rivera, RIP, dealt with the nightmare of not only having your fiance cheat, but with someone younger and nepotistic. Talk about a slap to the face, without adding in Ariana's penchant to appropriate black culture on that offense list, so yikes. Rivera previously called out the singer for her affair with Big Sean in her Sorry Not Sorry memoir, where she famously wrote that on the one day that he was back in LA, he said he didn't want to see me, but since she had a key, she let herself into his house, recalling the time that she discovered Grande hanging out at the Detroit rapper's residence. I walk in, go downstairs, and guess what little girl is sitting cross-legged on the couch listening to music. It rhymes with Shmariana Shwande, was Rivera's quip at the time. Of course, the black-haired beauty made it clear that she didn't witness any infidelity between Sean and Grande herself with her own 2 eyes, but according to her book, that revelation of an affair hit Rivera hard. She discovered that her engagement with Big Sean had essentially come to an end, and not only were they no longer getting married, but seems they weren't even together. She makes the decision to walk out, and then he began dating Ariana not long after. But only for 8 months. And it was only for 8 months because Ariana went right on back to home wrecking Mac Miller, this time in our next segment, 2016. This is the year that Mac Miller and Ariana officially get together. Shortly, very shortly, after he breaks up with Nomi Leisure again, who at this point he'd been dating for 7 years with the one exception of their breakup, which was caused by Ariana before. Mac and Ariana, a fan favorite couple, are are quickly glamorized and romanticized by their young fans, but that all collapses inwards on itself in May 2018. After 2 years together, Ariana and Mac announced their split the very same week that she is seen with Pete Davidson out as a couple. Talk about top-notch scummy behavior. Scummy behavior made worse when you learn Pete Davidson had been in a 2.5-year-long relationship with Cassie David, who had absolutely no issue in immediately airing out to the press that Pete broke up with her and began dating Ariana the next day. She shared her emotional journey of dating the SNL star, recounting how Pete had taken Ariana on identical dates to the ones that were special to them, and how he'd literally just gotten tattoos inspired by Cassie, then broke up with her through a text message. Seems like Ariana and Pete made an arrangement to leave their partners for one another. Fact made worse when we all take a moment to collectively recognize the state of Mac Miller at the time. Because yeah, I will go there. She kicked the man while he was down by having this affair, and even her stans shouldn't try to deny that. Then, Pete was kicked to the curb out of her guilty conscience because of what happened, and then he's put through a public circus to distract people from how their relationship started, thus starting the descent into our last segment, 2020 to present. So, in 2020, Ariana announced she's dating Dalton Gomez. Now, according to fans, Dalton Gomez's ex-girlfriend named Ricky Barton had posted a photo on her Instagram story when he and Grande began dating, and that photo was captioned, "When you see your ex with the person they told you not to worry about." This, of course, leads to speculations that the pop singer might have been involved with Gomez while he was still in a relationship with Barton. And even her own fans saw the homewrecker pattern at this point and were quick to make mention of it. A lot of quips about, yeah, this seems like Ariana. Then there's speculation surrounding Ariana and Gag The Weeknd having an affair back in 2014, either before or during or after her relation with Big Sean. The rumors of this have floated since that 2014 Love Me Harder collab. So in January of 2022, the Torontonian releases his album, Dawn FM, and fans come up with an intriguing theory about one of the songs, I Heard You're Married. Seeing as none of The Weeknd's famous exes were married except for Ariana, fans thought this to be a potential subject. That and her, the song Off the Table seemed to provide some clues, leading some fans to believe that they had had some secret affair. But anyways, back to Dalton, who was happily married to Grande until their sudden 2023 divorce, and what'd you know? Ethan Slater leaves his wife of 2 years, who had literally just given birth, to shack up with none other than Ariana Grande. This is now the most brazen affair the singer has had, and it's drawn a lot of scorn and negative attention, as well as fans trying to argue that the label of a homewrecker is being used on Ariana for the sake of misogyny or being anti-woman. I hate to tell you guys this, but being a homewrecker in of itself is anti-woman, and it's become Ariana's entire brand. Need me to prove that to you? Break up with your boyfriend, I'm bored. 7 Rings, wherein she confidently sings, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. These lyrics seem to reflect her assertive approach to her desires and relationships. This girl has been honest about being a homewrecker and sees no shame in it, in case you can't tell by her most recent single. So it's wild to see some people try to defend her. I think it's about time we bring back shame.
Number 10, Victoria Justice. Let's turn our attention towards Victoria Justice, a name you may remember from the hit show Victorious. At one point, she believed leaving her co-stars behind to venture solo would skyrocket her career. However, the reality turned out to be quite different. Justice found herself in a public feud with Ariana Grande when Grande alleged in a 17 magazine interview that Justice had been a bully on set. She said, I worked with someone who told me that they'd never like me. Justice hit back on Twitter, calling out people ready to tarnish friendships to look good. She wrote, some people would throw someone that they consider a friend under the bus just to make themselves look good. Hashtag stop being phony. Hashtag if they only knew. It was rumored that Justice abandoned her ensemble cast to make a solo run, a move that, as we know, didn't quite pan out. Today, she seems to be the one grappling for a steadfast career in Hollywood. In the years following the incident, tensions between Justice and Grande have seemingly cooled down, but the fallout from their public spat continues to be a topic of discussion among fans. While both stars have gone on to pursue their individual careers, Justice seemed to bear the brunt of the controversy. In several interviews, she's expressed that the feud with Ariana Grande Grande was blown way out of proportion, and that it was a trying time in her life. She said, "It's a shame when people try to make headlines out of irrelevant situations," though she has always maintained that her decision to go solo was not influenced by any animosity towards Ariana Grande, but rather a desire to carve out her own path in the industry. In contrast, many fans and critics perceive it as a strategic move that just didn't work in her favor. Number 9. Jeanette McCurdy. Once a Nickelodeon darling, Jeanette McCurdy doesn't seem to hold a high opinion of Ariana Grande, in spite of their past friendship. The pair first teamed up to work on the highly popular show Sam and Cat. However, the show was cancelled soon after rumors surfaced that McCurdy discovered the producers favoring Grande, even insisting on equal pay due to the speculation that Ariana was earning significantly more money. Unfortunately, this situation did not end well. The show was abruptly cancelled, and Ariana proceeded to kickstart her solo career. Jeanette's departure from Nickelodeon seemed to have been the beginning of a downfall for her, while Ariana flourished in the music industry. The two childhood friends soon drifted apart, with Jeanette focusing on acting and making music on the side, while Ariana became one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Jeanette publicly criticized Ariana in interviews and even went as far as to say that she did not consider her a friend anymore. But in recent years, Jeanette has expressed regret for her past comments and acknowledged that it was wrong of her to publicly speak negative about Ariana. Despite the rocky history between them, both women have moved on from their Nickelodeon days and have gone on to achieve success in their respective careers. Jeanette has continued to act in various projects, including the Netflix series Between and the drama film Pet. She's also focused on her music career, releasing singles and an EP in recent years. Similarly, Ariana has become a household name, releasing multiple successful albums and embarking on world tours. It's unclear if Jeanette and Ariana have reconciled or if they will ever work together again. But it's clear that their friendship and working relationship on Sam and Cat was just not meant to last. However, the show's cancellation and subsequent fallout between the two stars have not stopped them from achieving success in their chosen fields. Both women have grown and evolved personally and professionally since their days on Nickelodeon. Number 8. Big Sean. A wave of surprise swept across the fanbase when news broke out that Big Sean reportedly called quits with the singing sensation, just a few weeks shy of their anniversary together. Various sources suggested that Sean chose to walk away due to what was perceived as Ariana's diva-like requests, including, and among other things, her alleged demands for private jet flights across the country. What seemed to add fuel to this fire was Big Sean's dissatisfaction over Ariana's seemingly lackluster support of his music career. He was reportedly upset about her absence at one of his album listening parties. Despite being one of Hollywood's favorite power couples, the split between these two was a shock to many. Fans took to social media platforms to express their heartbreak over the news, while others speculated what could have led to the demise of their seemingly perfect relationship. As with any celebrity couple breakup, rumors started circulating, with many people pointing fingers at Ariana's alleged diva behavior. However, neither party confirmed or denied these claims, leaving fans to wonder what really caused the split. Number 7. Mariah Carey. Mariah quite frankly expressed her fatigue over being constantly asked about her opinion to do with Ariana. Candidly, she questioned how she could be replaced in the music industry while she's still active and alive. She added in a somewhat sarcastic tone her best wishes to the new entrants, hoping they can indeed achieve their career aspirations if they decide to pursue this path. Well, that was quite the statement there. Mariah opened up about the pressures of being a successful artist in the constantly evolving music industry. She shared her thoughts on newer artists entering the scene and how she sometimes feels overshadowed by them. Now, this is a common feeling among many veteran musicians who have established themselves in the industry. As time passes, new talent emerges, and it can be challenging for established artists to maintain their relevancy and their popularity. But despite these challenges, Mariah continues to push boundaries with her music and remains a force to be reckoned with in the R&B genre. Her successes and longevity in the industry is a testament to her talent and to her hard work. Number 6. Solange. Next up, we have to talk about Solange Knowles, who is well known for expressing her genuine emotions on Twitter. She's been seen poking fun at Ariana Grande, contributing to the long-standing rumor that Ariana aspires to emulate Mariah Carey, a sentiment echoed by many. Knowles stirred the pot last year when she tweeted, "No one is better at this than Ariana Grande though, so I'ma just chill, happy Sunday." This statement suggested that she is not exactly a fan of Ariana's music, pointing out its striking resemblance to Mariah Carey's discography. Solange Knowles is not the only celebrity to use Twitter as a platform for expressing their opinions and thoughts. More and more celebrities are using social media to connect with fans and share their views on various topics, and this has led to an increased transparency between celebrities and their followers, giving fans a glimpse into the lives of their favorite stars. However, sometimes this can also lead to conflicts and feuds between celebrities, as seen in the case of Solange Knowles and Ariana Grande. While some people might view it as harmless banter, others see it as unnecessary drama. Despite this, Twitter remains a platform for celebrities to interact with their fans and showcase their personalities. Number 5. Drake Bell. Drake has a controversial view of Ariana Grande. According to him, he perceives her as just another privileged individual who never had to work hard for anything. Now, this is a notion that raised a lot of eyebrows when it was first publicized, yet it resonated with some people. It's well known that Ariana had a financially comfortable upbringing, with her path to success seemingly free of obstacles. He said, "Suddenly they're discovered on YouTube, whisked into the studio, and they believe they can have anything they want. Ariana Grande became a billionaire before she was even established herself as an artist. There's value in working hard to appreciate what you have, but what hard work has she ever had to do?" So he made it clear that he wasn't exactly a fan of her. Drake Bell's controversial views on Ariana sparked a heated debate among fans and critics alike. While some people might agree with his perspective, others argue that it is unfair to discredit her talent and her hard work. It's no secret that Ariana did have a privileged upbringing, but does that automatically invalidate her success? Many would argue that working hard doesn't always mean struggling or facing adversity. In fact, Ariana has spoken out about her own struggles with anxiety and the pressure of fame, which suggests that she has faced her own challenges in the industry. Number 4. Chrissy Teigen. In a rather surprising twist, Chrissy stirred up some controversy after Ariana's performance on the iconic Saturday Night Live. It all started when Teigen took to social media expressing her dislike for people who wear cat ears as a fashion statement. Coincidentally or not, this tweet was posted just hours after Ariana's appearance on the show, where she was noticeably wearing cat ears. While Teigen later tried to downplay her comments, it was pretty evident that things between her and Ariana were frosty, to say the least. In light of this incident, many people started to wonder whether or not there was some underlying tension between these two celebrities. Some speculated that her remarks were directed towards Ariana, while others believed that it was just a coincidence and it was not necessarily meant as a personal attack. But despite all the rumors and speculations, both women have remained relatively tight-lipped about that whole situation. They have not addressed the incident directly, and instead they have chosen to focus on their respective careers. Number 3. Mayim Bialik. Mayim, who is widely known for her role in The Big Bang Theory, is disconcerting when it comes to airing her grievances, especially if it gravely concerns her. Notably, any discussions around Ariana Grande seem to prompt her discomfort. She expressed her discontent regarding the notion that successful women in the music industry, including Ariana Grande, hinges on their willingness to dress scantily or in lingerie. She said, "I've come across a few billboards lately that really irk me, particularly one featuring Ariana Grande. I should note I don't really know who she is or what she does. She finds the use of nudity on these billboards to market to be unsettling and dreads the day that she must justify to her sons why so many Hollywood women are perpetually unclothed." Yikes. Number 2. Giuliana Rancic. It's clear that there are some tensions between Giuliana Rancic and Ariana Grande. Rancic, the former anchor for E! News, was taken aback during an interview when Ariana insisted on a particular camera angle. The young singer, who was only a teen at the time, expressed her preference for being filmed from the left side, leading her to ask Rancic to switch places with her. Ariana's request was a little surprising, given that it meant asking a mature and professional woman like Rancic to accommodate her particular aesthetic preference. And coming in at number 1, Miley Cyrus. In the world of celebrities, it seems like Miley can't resist stirring the pot. Audiences were left speechless when an excerpt from a New York Times article suggested that Miley might have an issue with Ariana, giving her a somewhat veiled stub. The vocalist described the encounter saying, "I was backstage with Ariana Grande. I said to her, 'Step out with me right now, let's take a photo, and this will be the best thing that happens to you because associating with me makes you seem a little less innocent.'" That was Miley implying that Ariana needed her association for some publicity and to boost her relevance. So it's no secret that the entertainment industry can be a cutthroat business, with celebrities constantly vying for attention and relevance. And Miley Cyrus is certainly no stranger to controversy and stirring up drama. But what exactly was she trying to achieve by making such a statement about Ariana? Some people might say that it was just another way of Miley's signature attention-grabbing antics, but others speculated that there might be some underlying tension between the two singers. After all, both Miley and Ariana have been in the industry for quite some time now, and they have often been compared to each other. Maybe Miley's comment was her way of asserting her dominance and reminding people of her own success in comparison to Ariana's. Or maybe there's some truth to Miley's insinuation that Ariana needed her association for publicity. But regardless of the intention, it seems clear that Miley was trying to make a statement and create buzz. And in today's age of viral media, any kind of attention can be seen as good attention.
One of Ariana's biggest feuds has been with her former co-star Victoria Justice. There was always a lot of confusion surrounding their feud because fans never really understood what was really going on. And to be honest, I still don't totally get it. There has been an alleged feud going on for years, going all the way back to 2010 when reports started saying the two of them didn't like each other, despite working together on the Nickelodeon show Victorious. Throughout the past 10 years, the two of them have denied feud rumors on different occasions, but then other things would happen and it would make people believe differently. There's an infamous video clip that went viral showing an interview with Ariana, Victoria, and two of their other co-stars. In the video, one of their co-stars, Elizabeth, is going on about how Ariana sings, and Victoria interrupts the interview and says, "I think we all sing." The video came across in this very jealous way because Victoria also sang on the show, but obviously Ariana's singing career took off and hers didn't. Time and time again though, media outlets reported tension between the two girls, but they have continued to deny it. Victoria did admit during an interview in 2013 that the two of them have had their differences, but said that she still sees the entire cast as one big family. So maybe they did have their differences and had moments of tension, but it seems like they've worked it out at this age, as they probably should. One celebrity who has been very open about her dislike towards Ariana is Giuliana Rancic. The E! News host and red carpet correspondent has interviewed countless amounts of celebrities throughout her career. And with that, she's also had feuds with some of them, Ariana being one of them. Which is a little surprising to me because Ariana isn't one to get into like petty fights and cause drama. But it seemed like this one was very much one-sided. Back in 2014, Giuliana talked about her on E! And said, I quote, "She does have a little bit of a diva thing going on." But what was it that caused her to feel this way about Ariana? She told the story of the time they did an interview and said that they both wanted to showcase their good side to the camera, but they made Giuliana move and then Ariana got to show her good side. She told the story and said, I quote, "Little Ariana comes over and they push me to the other side. I had to fight 13 years to get this side of the camera. It's my good side." Apparently, she took this as if Ariana didn't get her good side, then she wouldn't do the interview. That's when she called Ariana a Mariah Carey and said she has to bend over backwards and do whatever she wants in order to get an interview with her. The E! Host said that Ariana needed to earn her stripes and wasn't far enough in her career to have this kind of attitude. Now, I can understand two ladies wanting to have their good side facing the camera, like don't we all? But I also don't see how this was diva behavior. If anything, this just seems very diva of Giuliana. But let me know what you guys think. I think it's just petty and ridiculous, really. They're both beautiful, like I'm pretty sure both of your sides are good sides. Next up, we have Perez Hilton. Their feud goes way back in time, and at one point things were so bad, reports were saying lawyers could be getting involved. Back in 2014, he tweeted at Ariana saying he heard that she was spotted using cocaine. He expressed concern and then tweeted the same thing at Nickelodeon and Ariana's family, including her mother. Obviously, this was not genuine concern because if you were genuinely concerned for someone's well-being, you wouldn't be tweeting about it publicly. You would probably be messaging them, like privately, maybe. That's when rumors started going around that Ariana was going to sue Perez. So what does Perez do? He tweets out his lawyer's info to Ariana and her mom. Sadly, this was just one moment of tension between the two of them. There are actually quite a few. Later down the road, in more recent times, he called her out for allegedly being a diva. He released an article on his gossip blog website entitled it, "Ariana Grande is so demanding and shallow." It has since been removed, and maybe that's because her fans were quick to defend her. Don't mess with her fans, they're crazy. It seemed like he tried to warn the world that she was some kind of diva who has shallow values, but it was a very unsuccessful attempt. He recently opened up about why he's been so angry towards her all these years, and he revealed that he tried to become her manager when she was just 18 years old, but she rejected him. He explained and said, "I was really hurt, so for years afterwards, I was super petty toward Ariana on my website and on social media. I regret that." It seems like he has come to his senses now and realized that his warnings just aren't being taken seriously. And yeah, he's probably biting himself now because he would be making bank off her. We're moving on to another celebrity, and we have Mayim Bialik. Probably the most random feud you will ever hear about. The Big Bang Theory actress expressed that she had a problem with Ariana back in 2014. She wrote a blog post entitled it, "The Problem with That Giant Billboard of Ariana Grande." In the lengthy blog, which is far too long for me to read on this video, she went into detail about her distaste of Ariana's sexual nature in her album advertisements. She was particularly commenting on a billboard where Ariana is wearing lingerie. She wrote, "Why is she in her underwear on this billboard though? And if she has a talent, then why does she have to sell herself in lingerie?" The reason she had such an issue with it is because she feels that it is damaging for the young girls who look up to Ariana. Ariana has made it clear in interviews though that she should not and will not feel guilty for embracing her sexuality and feeling confident in her own skin. I understand where Mayim's concern is, but maybe don't single out Ariana Grande when this is something that goes on in Hollywood and media like as a whole. That's literally Hollywood. Coming up next is another Nickelodeon co-star, Jeanette McCurdy. The two girls actually had their own show together called Sam and Cat, and during that time they seemed inseparable. But over time things seemed to go sour and Jeanette took some hits at Ariana. In 2014, Ariana won Favorite TV Actress over Jeanette, and TMZ reported that Jeanette skipped the award show because she was trying to renegotiate her deal since apparently she made less money than Ariana did. But Ariana was quick to clear up those rumors and took it to Facebook saying, "I am not making more money than my co-star, nor do I think I should be. I am, have always been, and always will be about equality and fairness." Just a few months later though, the show was canceled and they both went on to follow their own career paths. But Jeanette's next project seemed to take a shot at Ariana. It was a web series called What's Next for Sarah. In the third episode, it featured a character named Gloriana, a girl with a high ponytail just like Ariana's. Perez Hilton and Jeanette joked about the episode on Twitter, and Perez wrote, "Can I be in an upcoming episode? I can be Gloriana's obnoxious gay brother." This would obviously annoy or upset Ariana because of the way that Perez has treated her, which I mentioned above. Reports say the two of them have not spoken in years, and in 2016, Jeanette posted a video of her jamming out to one of Ariana's songs, so maybe they have buried the hatchet after all these years. We're not totally sure. Making his way onto this list is Kanye West. It's not really a surprise that she has ended up in one of his Twitter rants. Almost every celebrity has at one point in time. Back in 2018, he called her out on Twitter for using his Twitter feud with Drake as a way to promote her new song with Miley Cyrus. What happened was, Ariana tweeted, "Guys, I know there are grown men arguing online right now, but Miley and I are dropping our beautiful new song tonight, so if y'all could just please behave for just like a few hours so the girls can shine, that would be so sick, thank you." She was referring to Kanye and Drake, who were in a heated spat on Twitter. Kanye took her tweet more personally than it was probably intended to be, and he was very hurt by it. He admitted he was mentally struggling and said it wasn't right for her to make a joke about the situation. He said, "Ariana, you know I got love for you, but until you're ready to really make sure everyone's okay, don't use me or this moment to promote a song." I understand where he's coming from, and some people were in agreement with him, while others just thought he was making it way more serious than it was. Ariana's response though was everyone's favorite part. She did apologize if her tweet triggered him and said that she understands how it was insensitive, but she started her apology by saying, "With all due respect, I don't need to use anyone to promote anything, period." Lastly, we have one of her ex-fiancés, Pete Davidson. The two of them got together in 2018 and their relationship moved very quickly, getting engaged and moving in with each other after only months of dating. From the outside looking in, they seemed to be head over heels for one another. They were freaking adorable. But they were only engaged for a few months before Ariana broke it off and they went their separate ways. After their split, Pete went and got a cover-up over the tattoo that he had done for her while they were obviously together, and he called her out in his Netflix comedy special. He wasn't thrilled about her song Thank You Next, where she wrote lyrics about all of her ex-boyfriends, including him. During his Netflix stand-up special, he called her out and said, "Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow. If I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started on my ex." He also didn't think it was fair that she was named Billboard's Women of the Year after her hit song about him and all her exes, but he was publicly ridiculed after their breakup. However, since then, the two of them have come to good terms and now both speak kindly about one another. Pete later revealed that the reason they actually ended was because Ariana was hurting after her ex-boyfriend Mac Miller tragically passed away from an overdose. He admitted that she was going through a very difficult time and said that he now respects the decision that she made.
Coming in at number 10 today, we have the deleted Instagram. Over the weekend, reports all across social media would claim that Ariana's husband, Dalton Gomez, deactivated his Instagram, and in the process, fans have started to speculate that the married couple was headed towards a divorce. According to recent articles, just after fans started questioning Dalton's sexuality, he would deactivate his Instagram page. However, it's still unsure whether or not these accusations regarding who he is interested in or not was actually behind the reason for him to deactivate his account in the first place. With Ariana's husband reportedly not using Instagram regularly, he could have just deactivated his account because he just doesn't want to use social media anymore. With the two being happily married, that hasn't stopped the divorce rumors from swirling around Hollywood, and it makes us wonder if this whole thing is just being blown out of proportion by the public, as there hasn't been any signs to show that the pair are separating online. Well, that's just yet. Who knows what we might see in the weeks to come. Number 9. Still loves Mac Miller. After Ariana's relationship turned toxic with Mac Miller, she would be devastated when she made the decision to leave the late star. Her desire to be his rock and to help him battle through his ongoing substance abuse became a little too much for her, as he wasn't able to accomplish anything that they were working on together, and she understandably couldn't bear to watch him go down this destructive road. Back in 2018, Grande would make her first public comment regarding the couple's breakup when she would say, "Unconditional love is not selfish. It's wanting the best for the person, even at that moment it's not you. I can't wait to know and support you forever, and I'm so proud of you." Mac would then pass away on September 7th, 2018, leaving Ariana to only be able to wish for her to tell him in person what he actually meant to her, as she expressed on her smash hit Thank You Next, and has since never stopped expressing her love for the star, even as she has moved on in her personal life with her husband Dalton Gomez. But as she falls more in love with Dalton, she's struggling to stop comparing her new love to Mac, and it's becoming really hard for the star, as in 2019 she even choked up during a show in his hometown of Pittsburgh when she got to the part, "I wish I could say thank you to Malcolm because he was an angel," in her song Thank You Next. And she even had his music playing in the arena earlier that evening as concert goers filled into the arena. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss what we might just cover next. Coming in at number 8, we have the rushed marriage. With Ariana and her Los Angeles real estate husband Dalton Gomez having a year-long lockdown relationship, when the pair announced in December of 2020 they were engaged after just 11 months of dating. While both Ariana's and Dalton's families were thrilled about the two getting married, some of Ariana's friends were concerned that the pair's relationship was moving a little too fast. Some even told Entertainment Tonight they weren't even sure if the pair were actually going to last. With there no doubt about the couple being very much in love, but some of their friends thought the arrangement was somewhat rushed, and they were very skeptical when it came to the fact that the pair's relationship could ultimately be short-lived. With the pair mainly being able to keep to themselves, they were forced for over a year to just enjoy each other's company, especially since Ariana bought a house so she could live in it with Dalton, and since they've kept their relationship pretty private, so it makes us wonder what could be happening behind closed doors. Number 7. Famous friends. It's no doubt that the only reason why Ariana's relationship has made it this far, it's because it's been pretty private. However, he tends to be friends with the same circle as Ariana, which could pose as a bit of a stress on the couple's relationship from time to time, as it means they are with each other a lot of the time. They don't really have any spare time to escape like a normal couple would. With TMZ pointing out that Dalton does in fact have other celebrity friends, which include Miley Cyrus, as she shared a story with him hanging out with her other friends back in 2017. We know personally Miley is close to Ariana, as they've even teamed up from time to time to collab on certain projects, and that means her fiance runs in the same circle as she does. Number 6. He was her realtor. Unlike most of Ariana's exes, Dalton is not an entertainer, but instead he's a Los Angeles real estate agent. Currently he serves as the director of estates division for luxury real estate company Aaron Kerman's group, where he works with A-list clients. According to his company's website, Dalton has 7 years of experience when it comes to the luxury real estate market, and during his first 3 years in the business he served as the director of operations, which meant he was running all the day-to-day operations for one of the top luxury real estate teams in LA, which means that the couple actually met when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway house, and her team found Dalton to help her with that, which makes you wonder, is it against the business ethics to go on a date with her in the first place, since he was employed by the singer? After all, he helped her find a house. Number 5, she made the first move. So we all appreciate a girl who is brave enough to make the first move, but at times certain girls who made the first move in the first place aren't exactly happy with the fact that they had to be the one to do it. So according to US Weekly, when Ariana was looking for a house outside of Los Angeles to be her getaway home, her team and Dalton helped her find the perfect location. However, Ariana, when she finally met Dalton and saw him in person for the first time, she immediately thought he was cute and very good looking, so she asked her team if they could set up an in-person meeting with him. And from there, Ariana fell very hard for the real estate agent as soon as she met with him. After the two met, Ariana went on to follow Dalton and his tattoo artist brother Dakota, and one of them even pointed out that Dalton and Aaron Kerman had the listing for the property that she purchased. Dalton also went on to comment on her Instagram live one time saying, "This girl is cute," to the point she responded by saying, "I feel blessed." Number 4, hidden marriage. It seems like much of Ariana's relationship is very quiet when you compare it to her other relationships. Maybe this is because Dalton isn't exactly an A-list celebrity, or maybe it's because he wants to keep things a secret. But honestly, it's not really shocking that Dalton wouldn't want the relationship to be in the spotlight, as any celebrity couple who flaunts their relationship in public doesn't end up looking really happy, and their relationships don't really end up lasting. But this, at the end of the day, could be because Ariana has doubts about their relationship. With the pair having a tiny and intimate ceremony with less than 20 people, it definitely wasn't the fairy tale come true wedding for the star, and I think we can all agree everything just looked a little basic, especially since it was a wedding for a girl who legit bragged about that if she wanted something, she could have it. And having those 7 rings, we were expecting big, lavish, and a fairy book inspired wedding. We wanted Wicked vibes, and that's just not what we got. With their romance being so happy and full of love, it makes you wonder why the couple kept their marriage a secret and why it took them so long to announce that they were actually getting married. Number 3, the signed prenup. Over the years, we have seen many celebrity divorces hit the fan. As they involved so much money and problems for the stars. And we have to face it, when it comes to splitting the cash, it wasn't exactly easy. Considering that Ariana Grande is worth $180 million before her marriage, she could have lost an awful lot of money if she went into her marriage unprotected. And many people started to point out that it could have been the wrong marriage, and she even had doubts about this person she was marrying. As when fans came to learn the Thank You Next singer finally did tie the knot with the real estate agent in May of 2021, some of them were super concerned that he was only marrying her because he was after her money. Fortunately, it certainly seems like his intentions were pure according to rumors, as Ariana's husband signed a prenup, and if the facts are true, it was also stated that Ariana's lawyer spent months putting together an ironclad prenuptial agreement, which Ariana and Dalton both signed before they walked down the aisle. But it really makes you wonder what was exactly in their agreement and how much Dalton could still take if things were to go wrong. Number 2, cultural appropriation. Back in 2021, Ariana and her husband Dalton would be accused of mocking Native American cultures in a now deleted Instagram video. The clip reposted by Ariana would resurface online, and it would quickly be shared by various Twitter accounts. While the victorious actress and her husband were joined by a few friends, the group could be seen participating in a native dance while sitting at the center of the circle. Ariana could be seen singing, laughing, while spinning a huge piece of cloth around in the air, while the other people in the short video were allegedly whooping and drumming along with her. The singer then went on to receive backlash from a number of upset fans for mocking Native American culture, with one fan writing, "Ariana disrespecting indigenous people's culture. Americans have such a long history of dehumanizing Native Americans, but shouldn't we hold those with a platform to a higher standard, even if it was bare minimum?" As many people went on to drag Ariana, what made matters even worse is when fans started to tell Native Americans who were voicing their opinions as they were upset over the star's behavior, they were being told to shut up, and Ariana just sat there and watched it all happen. And coming in number 1 today with Justin Bieber. For years now, it seems like everyone has been shipping Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber to get together, with both being superstars. They're the same age, and I mean, it's really not hard to see why so many fans believe they could be the perfect celebrity couple. While Justin may be married to Hailey Baldwin, and Ariana may be dating other guys and is now married, it doesn't mean that they're not meant to be together. They have so much in common, and they've been friends for years. For some reason, fate just doesn't bring them together, but that doesn't mean we might not see them come together in the future. From the stars going on tour with each other, Ariana being a huge fan, they got to know each other personally. In 2013, they were even spotted sharing a kiss that broke the internet. Well, Ariana did come out to clear the air and said that their kiss meant nothing. It made a lot of people wonder if she was only saying this because she didn't want to step on Selena's toes. And can we just talk about all the backstage love they've been sharing behind the scenes together, as we can't help but notice they can't stay away from each other. And with this whole Stuck With You collab, it just seemed like they made the video to tell their significant others they were happy to be stuck inside with them because they couldn't be with each other. But maybe I'm just looking too deep into things because I don't like Hailey.
First up, Dan Crenshaw. Part of being a comedian is knowing what is crossing the line and what isn't. Pete got some major backlash on SNL after he made fun of politician Dan Crenshaw for wearing an eye patch. Even worse, Crenshaw got the eye patch while fighting in the army overseas. According to ABC News, former Navy SEAL Dan Crenshaw, quote, lost his right eye when an IED exploded during a tour of Afghanistan in 2012. Many comedians would make a point not to make fun of a person with a disability, but Pete did not feel this way and trashed him on SNL. Davidson said during a 2018 episode of the show, quote, "You may be surprised to hear he's a congressional candidate from Texas and not a hitman in a porno movie." He then added, quote, "I'm sorry, I know he lost his eye in a war or whatever." Even fellow SNL cast member Kenan Thompson felt a line was crossed and said on the Today Show, quote, "I personally would never necessarily go there, but it's tough when you're fishing for jokes." Davidson and Crenshaw were able to make amends, and Crenshaw was even featured on an episode of SNL the week after the scandal, where he said some jokes at Pete's expense. Greg Yuna. We all know that Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson went through a hot and heavy romance that even led to an engagement at one point, but it did not last, and after only 5 months of being together, Pete and Ariana split. There was a lot of controversy with the relationship, and from the timeline it seemed like there might have been some cheating when it came to the relationship. A jeweler named Greg Yuna even came forward exposing that Pete wanted a ring in May of 2018. Only a week before Pete and Ariana were official, Pete was in a 4-year relationship with Cassie David, and there's a potential that Pete bought a ring for Cassie but ended up giving it to Ariana. After news of Pete and Ariana's engagement was made public, celebrity jeweler Greg Yuna revealed that Davidson reached out to him about a $93,000 engagement ring back in May of 2018. He said, quote, "Pete called me at the end of May and said, 'Look, I'm getting a ring. This is what I want,' and I told him that I had the right ring for him. He didn't tell me who it was for, but told me to keep it a secret. He didn't tell me anything about it." The reason this is strange is because Cassie and Pete announced their split on May 16th of 2018, so it's hard to tell if the ring was purchased for Cassie or if he bought Ariana the ring before things were finished between him and Cassie. Next up, Cassie David. Cassie was in a long-term relationship with Pete for 4 years before they split, and he publicly moved on to Ariana. At the time, she played it off, acting cool about his public relationship, but in a 2020 interview, she recalled just how difficult it was for her. While speaking with the LA Times, she shared more about their relationship and said that she constantly had to convince him that she loved him. She also revealed that she was the one that ended the relationship because it was becoming too toxic, but apparently a few days after the split, she called him and wanted him back, to which he declined. At that point, he was already with Ariana. Cassie says she was devastated and, quote, "shook uncontrollably in her father's arms during a flight Molly to her sister's college graduation. She added that she couldn't stop thinking about Davidson and Grande immediately falling in love, accompanied by an audio of her baby voice whispering sweet nothings in his ear, dubbed over his past declarations of love and trust to me. Next up, Kanye West. Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian have been spending a lot of time together recently, and many think the pair are officially dating. Kim used to be married to Kanye West, who was also friendly with Pete at one point in time, so fans think that Pete is breaking bro code by being with Kim. Kanye apparently also hates that Kim is getting handsy with Pete while out in public. In one resurfaced SNL clip, Pete poked fun at Kanye on a Weekend Update skit years before his date with Kim. Pete joked that Kanye was off his meds and needed to start taking them again. Pete also told Kanye that being mentally ill is not an excuse to be a jackass. Pete also put on a MAGA hat that read, quote, "Make Kanye 2006 again." Then a photo resurfaced of Kanye and Pete out to dinner together at Nobu in 2019. The pair were joined by Kim, Kid Cudi, and Timothée Chalamet. Kim shared 3 photos of the unlikely group smiling while seated around a dinner table at the time, writing, quote, "Happy birthday Kid Cudi," which confirmed that Kanye and Pete were friendly. A source told Hollywood Life that Kanye has commented on Kim and Pete's new romance. The source said, quote, "Kanye was really put off by Kim holding hands with Pete and he did not like it at all. He asked Kim to, quote, please refrain from showing public displays of affection with anyone until their divorce is finalized." The source even added that Kanye has contacted Kris Jenner for info on the new relationship, but she won't give a straight answer. Next up, Ariana Grande. Following the breaking off of their engagement, Ariana is probably the person with the most to say about Pete. They had a 5-month relationship in 2018 that had a bitter end, and their rocky romance gave Ariana the inspiration for her hit album, Thank You Next. Ariana opened up more about their relationship in a 2019 interview with Vogue. Apparently, her friends convinced her to spend the summer in New York after her breakup with Mac Miller. That's where she met Pete. Ari said that she loved Pete, but the relationship was, quote, frivolous and insane, and admitted that she, quote, didn't know him, despite agreeing to marry him, even calling the relationship, quote, an amazing distraction, adding, it was frivolous and fun and insane and highly unrealistic, and I loved him and I didn't know him. These comments rubbed Pete the wrong way, and he clapped back in his Netflix comedy special called Pete Davidson, A Live from New York. He got some flack for talking about their relationship, and he responded, quote, where did she say this stuff? To her friends in the confidence of her own home? No, she said it on the cover of Vogue magazine. Can you imagine if I did that? My career would be over tomorrow if I spray painted myself brown and hopped on the cover of Vogue magazine and just started shitting on my ex. And lastly, Pete Davidson himself. During his relationship with Ariana, the public uncovered some controversial jokes made by Davidson. Some were even at Ariana's expense. Back when they were madly in love, Pete joked about switching Ari's birth control pills with Tic Tacs so that he would be tied to her forever. The joke was told while Pete was talking about how Ariana was the breadwinner in their relationship. He said, quote, I live at her place, she pays like 60 grand for rent, and all I have to do is stock the fridge. Then Davidson spoke about how the man doesn't always need to be the breadwinner in a relationship, adding, quote, last night I switched her birth control with Tic Tacs. I believe in us and all, I just want to make sure that she can't go anywhere. Then it was uncovered that after the tragedy at Ariana's Manchester concert that left 23 of her fans dead, Pete made a tone-deaf joke about it. According to The Mirror, in fall of 2017, Pete joked that Ariana must have realized how famous she was after the attack because, quote, Britney Spears didn't have a tragedy at her concert. Yikes. Ariana came to his defense and told fans that he uses comedy to make people feel better, but her fans still didn't accept the excuse. This is one of many inappropriate jokes that Pete has made over the years. He was also known for oversharing in his relationship to Ariana, and he would talk about their intimate life in public, which Ariana did not like.
At number 8, Phoebe Dynevor. Remember Bridgerton? That show had us pretty enamored when it was first released. The love story that unfolded had a lot of us wishing for that kind of fairy tale romance, but it seems as though one of the show's actresses had a real life romance of her own, even if it was relatively short-lived. Actress Phoebe Dynevor, who played Daphne Bridgerton on the Netflix series, was reportedly in a relationship with Pete Davidson earlier this year, though it has since ended. Rumors of their budding romance started swirling in March of this year after Pete flew from the US to the UK to go spend time with her. For a while, their relationship was labeled as, quote, not too serious, but it was also suggested that there were still some strong feelings there because of how Pete was following Phoebe to different locations around the UK as she was filming. By mid-April, Pete seemed to have confirmed that he and Phoebe were an item during a Zoom call with students from Marquette University when he was asked who his celebrity crush was, and he responded saying, quote, I'm with my celebrity crush, that's all I can speak on, end quote. Things didn't really last much longer between Pete and Phoebe though, as sources confirmed that the pair had broken up in August, and it's been said that the long distance is what ended things. At number 7, Carly Aquilino. Up next, we have a little short-lived relationship from a few years back that you might not have known about. Two comedians in a relationship sounds like a hoot and a half, but in this case, things just didn't work out in the end. Carly Aquilino, known for being a cast member on Girl Code, dated Pete Davidson for almost a year back in 2015. There's not much to say about their relationship other than the fact that they were together. Not much information about their relationship is out there, but we do know that Pete seemed to have left a lasting impression on Carly because she did sort of comment on Pete's engagement to Ariana Grande when she posted a screenshot of a text message of someone reaching out to her after the engagement was announced. It isn't known why they broke up, they just did, but I'm sure that it isn't easy to see your ex engaged to someone else, right? Yeah. Before we continue talking about Pete Davidson's celebrity hookups and relationships, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel as well to see more videos like this one. At number 6, Kaya Jordan Gerber. Back in 2019, Pete Davidson was seen getting pretty close to Sidney Crawford's daughter, Kaya Gerber. They were linked to each other in October of that year as they were seen grabbing dinner together, and Kaya was spotted wearing a necklace with the letter P charm on it. The pair also went on a romantic getaway in Miami together as well. But even though things looked good in the beginning, apparently not everyone approved of their relationship, especially Kaya's parents. According to sources, Kaya's parents hoped that her relationship with Pete would just fizzle out, and that's exactly what ended up happening. In January 2020, reports came out saying that the couple had split up, and this came about around the time that Pete was dealing with his mental health and checked into rehab. The following month, Pete officially confirmed that he and Kaya were no longer together, saying, quote, "She's very young and I'm going through a lot, and it was before I went to rehab. It just wasn't the right place or the right time at all." End quote. At number 5, Margaret Qualley. One of Pete's shorter relationships was that with actress Margaret Qualley. The two first started dating back in August of 2019, but they only lasted about 2 months together. Pete was seen in Venice with her that year, supporting Margaret as she promoted her film Seberg, which was screened at the Venice Film Festival. When they were spotted together in Italy, many people said that they looked to be really in love. One source commented on seeing the couple out in public, saying, quote, "Pete and Margaret were standing and chatting and laughing. There wasn't much PDA, but he was in a good mood, and the two of them were joking around." End quote. Now, things weren't really that serious between Margaret and Pete, and by the time fall came around, they had called it quits. They broke up in October of that year, but just a month prior, the actress's mom commented on her daughter's relationship with the comedian, saying, quote, "She has a beautiful relationship with him, but I don't want to step on her relationship too much. They have a nice relationship." End quote. This was really more of a summer fling than anything else, and shortly after these two ended their relationship, Pete was spotted with Kaya Gerber, whom I just told you guys about. Their relationship did end on good terms, and they just stayed friends after that. At number 4, Ariana Grande. Now, everyone knows about this relationship, so I'm sure you already know the details, but we can't forget about Pete's whirlwind relationship with Ariana Grande. These two really came in hot but burned out just as quickly. Pete and Ariana revealed that they were dating in May of 2018, just after he got out of a relationship with Cassie David, whom I will tell you guys about after. Just a few weeks after getting together, Pete popped the question and the two got engaged in June of 2018. This move shocked everyone because of how soon it was, but they were crazy about each other, so who was going to stop them, right? Sadly though, things weren't meant to work out, and this intense relationship fizzled out and the couple broke up in October of 2018. After that, there was a bit of drama, tattoos were covered up, Thank You Next came out, and it mentioned Ariana's relationship with Pete, and Pete mentioned all of that in one of his comedy performances. They've both moved on from the situation, clearly, but I feel like a lot of people saw this ending coming because of how intense everything was in the beginning. Sometimes you just need a fling in your life, and that's okay. When you love someone hard, it can be very overwhelming. At number 3, Cassie David. Pete Davidson's relationship with Cassie David, the daughter of comedian Larry David, was Pete's first high-profile long-term relationship. Cassie and Pete started seeing each other in May of 2016, and they went through a lot together. As any couple does, they shared their struggles, but eventually it got to the point where they just couldn't carry on in a healthy relationship, and so they broke up in May of 2018. In 2020, Cassie published a collection of essays titled No One Asked for This, where she opened up about her breakup with Pete, recalling the struggles that both of them had with their mental health during their relationship, and she also exposed the fact that she and Pete broke up the day before finding out that Pete and Ariana were together. The end of Cassie and Pete's relationship was pretty painful, as you could no doubt imagine, coming out of a 2-year-long relationship, but according to sources, they are friends now and that works for them. At number 2, Kate Beckinsale. What is your stance on rebounds after a relationship? Some people are for it, others are against it. Clearly, Pete Davidson isn't opposed to a rebound because shortly after calling it quits with Ariana Grande, Pete found himself in a fling with actress Kate Beckinsale. Not that there's anything wrong with a rebound, I mean, to each their own, do what you gotta do, but a lot of people had something to say about this short-lived romance between Kate and Pete. First of all, there was the timing. Many of Ariana's fans were pretty upset to see that Pete had moved on from Ariana so quickly. Pete and Kate were seen getting pretty close together in January 2019 when they were seen flirting at a Golden Globes after party. It was all speculation until they confirmed it a few weeks later when they were seen making out at a Rangers game. Sources said that this PDA was meant as an FU to Ariana. Now, on top of the fact that Kate and Pete got together so quickly after Ariana and Pete split, people also commented on their age difference. Kate and Pete had a 20-year age gap, and he was apparently only 3 years older than Kate's daughter. Either way, things didn't work out between them, and by the time April rolled around, the couple had called it quits. Explaining the breakup, one source said, quote, "Even though Kate has been in Hollywood for a long time, she struggled with the attention on her relationship with Pete. He lives his life with his heart on his sleeve." End quote. And finally, at number 1, Kim Kardashian. Now this one is the newest fling on Pete's roster. The comedian has been seen getting pretty close with Kim Kardashian, and people are wondering what's really going on here. The two sparked dating rumors back in October of this year after photos surfaced of Pete and Kim holding hands on a roller coaster, leading people to speculate that there's some kind of spark between them. A source close to them said that they are just friends and that they're just having fun together, but fans are still digging and looking for any evidence to support the theory that these two are an item. Just recently, it was reported that Pete had arranged for a private dinner with Kim on Staten Island, and they also have been spotted together in New York City, where Pete currently lives. Everything surrounding their suspected relationship happened after Kim guest hosted SNL and kissed Pete in a skit, so maybe they just bonded over that, or maybe there's something more. At number 10, college dropout. These days, the status quo for many of us is graduate high school, go to college, graduate, find a job, and eventually die, right? Well, many of us are challenging that these days, and Pete Davidson is one of those people. Pete is one of the many celebrities who started going to college but eventually dropped out to pursue his dreams. Pete graduated from Xaverian High School in 2012 and ended up going to St. Francis College for a full semester before eventually deciding to drop out. The comedian said that he wanted to follow his passion for comedy, and so he left college to dedicate himself to his craft, making being a comedian his full-time job. He serves as a good role model to anyone looking to pursue their dreams as well, even though it can be scary, especially when it comes to anything in the arts. Like my mom always used to tell me, follow your passion and the money will follow you. At number 9, war veteran. We know that Pete Davidson is a comedian on SNL. We also know that Pete can sometimes go a little too far with his jokes. Back in 2018, Pete was making jokes about his opinion on the US midterm elections, and he was alongside former Navy SEAL Dan Crenshaw for the bit. Dan is a former soldier who lost his eye in 2012 when an IED exploded. This was no doubt a traumatic event for the former SEAL, but Pete still decided to make a joke about it, though it didn't go over well. During the bit on SNL, Pete joked about Dan's injury, saying, quote, "You may be surprised to hear he's a congressional candidate from Texas and not a hitman in a porno movie. I'm sorry, I know he lost his eye in a war, whatever." End quote. Pete ended up facing some backlash over his comment, and even some of his SNL co-stars made comments about the nature of Pete's joke. Dan ended up getting revenge on Pete, as in the following week on the show he got to poke fun at Pete in return. Though back when this scandal originally happened, not that many people got upset, since he has now had his fame boosted because of Kim K. He risks having his past exposed again, and this scandal might be a secret that Pete wishes would stay secret. Before we carry on talking about some of the shady things that Pete Davidson doesn't want you to know about, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this. this one. At number 8, suspicious social media. The most dedicated fans are always watching their favorite celebrities' every move. Nowadays, celebrities can't get away with much without having their fans expose them, and this is how it was revealed that Pete can be a little sus online. Back when Pete had just started dating Ariana Grande, fans noticed something a little off about the comments he would leave under his girl's posts. An example of this comes from back in 2016 when Pete commented under his then girlfriend Cassie David's post saying, quote, "I love you so much, Kaz, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I find new things to love about you every day." Fast forward to 2018 when he was dating Ariana Grande, when he left a comment on one of her posts saying, quote, "Hi, I'm the luckiest contest winner ever," end quote. Some fans found it a little weird how he used the word luckiest so much. It could have just been a coincidence, which is what I believe, but other fans thought that the word repetition could indicate that he was disingenuous with his thoughts and comments on his partners. This could be a stretch, but don't come for me about it, blame the fans. Pete could want this to all stay a secret because fans might catch on to Pete's true nature if all that they're saying is true. At number 7, engagement ring. Speaking of past partners though, let's talk about the time that Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande were engaged. Fans were a little sussed out when they learned about the timeline of Ariana and Pete's engagement because it turns out that Pete had reached out to a designer about getting a ring for Ariana, suspiciously soon after he and Cassie David had split. Though news of the engagement broke in June of 2018, Pete and Cassie's split broke the news on May 16, 2018, but according to celebrity jeweler Greg Yuna, Pete had hit him up about an engagement ring for Ariana at the end of May. That didn't leave much time between the breakup and thoughts about marrying another person. Fans thought that this was pretty suspicious and could prompt theories as to what Pete might have been doing behind the scenes. Perhaps this is a secret that Pete would want to keep hidden over risk of being exposed and cancelled. At number 6, Cassie David. Pete Davidson's relationship with Cassie David, the daughter of comedian Larry David, was Pete's first high-profile long-term relationship. Cassie and Pete started seeing each other in May of 2016, and they went through a lot together. As any couple does, they had their share of struggles, but it eventually got to the point where they just couldn't carry on in a healthy relationship, and so they broke up in May of 2018. In 2020, Cassie published a collection of essays titled "No One Asked for This," where she opened up about her breakup with Pete, recalling the struggles that the both of them had with their mental health during their relationship. Cassie was devastated when she and Pete broke up, but because of Pete's struggles with his mental health, she had to do what was best for her and let him go. Cassie also exposed the fact that she and Pete broke up the day before finding out that Pete and Ariana were together. The end of Cassie and Pete's relationship was pretty painful, as you could no doubt imagine, coming out of a 2-year-long relationship, but according to sources, they are friends now and that works for them. At number 5, Staten Island. Let's stray away from the relationship drama and get back to Pete's comedy to reveal another secret that he might want to keep hidden. I told you about one of the jokes Pete made about a former veteran that didn't go over well, but here's another one that ended up offending his hometown of Staten Island. In 2012, a Category 3 hurricane passed through Staten Island, causing destruction and devastation in the area. Hundreds of people lost their homes and businesses, so with this somber aftermath, it probably wasn't the best time to be making jokes, though Pete ended up doing it anyway. In 2016, Pete ended up poking fun at the natural disaster that ripped through his hometown when he said, quote, "Hurricane Sandy should have finished the job when it landed in Staten Island," end quote. As you can imagine, the joke didn't go over well with those who were affected by the devastation. He later went on to defend his remarks when he said, quote, "To be fair, I was raised there and Staten Island should share some of the blame," end quote. This caused him to face a lot of backlash, and though this has all since died off, there's always the chance of it resurfacing to cause more trouble for the comedian, so maybe he would prefer if this scandal stayed hidden in the shadows. At number 4, Manchester joke. You guys might remember the Manchester attack at Ariana Grande's 2017 concert. It was a bombing at one of her shows that caused mass casualties and injuries. It was certainly no laughing matter, but Pete Davidson still decided to make a joke about the terrible incident, and as you can imagine, it did not go over well. Looking back on it, this is probably something from his past that he would have wanted to keep hidden because it was so controversial. In the fall of 2017, Pete made a joke saying that after this attack, Ariana should have realized how famous she was because, quote, "Britney Spears didn't have a terrorist attack at her concert," end quote. This joke didn't go over well at the time, but a year later when it resurfaced after Pete and Ariana started dating, Ari defended her man, saying that he was just using humor to cope with the tragedy. Fans still weren't happy about what was said, and now that Pete has even more clout because of Kim K, if this joke were to resurface again, he could face more backlash than ever before. At number 3, Tic Tacs. During a segment on SNL while Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande were still dating, Pete made a joke about his relationship with the singer and trapping her in their relationship, and this ended up causing more backlash than genuine laughter. During the segment, Pete was talking about how Ariana was the breadwinner in their relationship and how he was just living off her wealth and made a joke that he was trying to trap her in the relationship so that he could keep living like that. Pete said that in order to keep her around, he switched her birth control pills with Tic Tacs, saying, quote, "Last night I switched her birth control with Tic Tacs. I believe in us and all. I just want to make sure that she can't go anywhere." This ended up causing some controversy because fans said that not only should Pete not be able to control his girlfriend's reproductive rights, but that it was also hella toxic that he joked about trapping her. This is probably one comment that Pete wishes would stay hidden because judging by the fact that he is currently dating Kim K, people might think that he might pull a stunt like this again. At number 2, Howard Stern. There are just some things that you shouldn't share with the public about your relationship, and your intimacy is definitely one of those things. But Pete doesn't hold back with anything, and in 2018 he told Howard Stern about his private time with Ariana Grande. The comedian dished about the intimate time he spent with Ariana, saying, quote, "Anytime we're intimate, I'm always apologizing and saying thank you. You're awesome for doing this. Thank you so much." End quote. To make matters even more uncomfortable, Pete also talked about how before they were together, he would pleasure himself to the thought of Ariana Grande. It is a really weird and gross thing to say publicly, so this might be a comment that Pete wishes that he could keep from the public because it could reflect badly on him and his new relationship with Kim K. And finally, at number 1, Spotlight. In the past, Pete has reflected on the fame that he has as a comedian and just as a public figure in general, saying that he doesn't always like having all eyes on him. With that said though, some people have called those comments hypocritical because of the fact that though he hates the spotlight, he enters relationships with A-list celebrities. Now that he's dating one of the biggest celebrities, those hypocritical comments could come back to cause controversies, so maybe this is something that he could have wished was secret.